What a fine morning it is. BobbyWolfey here, and welcome back to the Queen Mary. Ah yes, the Queen Mary of 1936. It's mast to the heavens. Today we're going to be exploring my favorite place in the world, the RMS Queen Mary, an ocean liner about the last of its kind, built in 1936. Well, it was laid down in 29, and this is 90 years young, and there's a lot to see. We've been here before and we'll be here again. Every trip here is an opportunity to experience history. You have to understand, before aeroplanes, we had ocean liners. Ocean liners, big ships like this. This is bigger than the Titanic. Did you know that? Titanic was 882.5 feet, and this is 1,019 feet. More decks, more space, more luxurious, different styles, not Victorian, but Art Deco. Anyway, let us get upon the board of the ship. I make an introduction like this isn't my second trip with my annual pass. Look at this. Look at this huge bow. The front of the ship, it's called the bow. Did you note that? Oh, look at the superstructure. The superstructure is everything that sits above the hull. The hull is this part, the long part. And everything above that is the superstructure. It's the haunted submarine, haunted scorpion. Look at this beautiful thing before me. This beautiful thing. Now, it's hard to even capture the entire length of this ship. Welcome aboard. There's the bow over there. There's the bridge up there. Ventilators, these big ventilators right here. There's the forward funnel right there. Funnels are a reproduction. Look at that water down there. That's the ocean. Beauty of the ship. Beauty of the ship. And I promised this last time, and if you thought I wouldn't do it, I love the Queen Mary. There was that woman who married the Eiffel Tower. Let me tell you, I'd marry the Queen Mary, let me tell you. This is the first class promenade deck. Look at the prom deck. Look at this promenade. It's where you take a walk about, go around in a circle. It's your exercise spot. And this is it in action. We're walking along the promenade deck. Look at our promenade walk. Isn't this quite lovely? Isn't this lovely indeed? Beautiful. We're walking by the first class lounge right behind these windows here. Gorgeous first class promenade. There would be deck chairs lined up along here. In fact, this shot right here, so this picture right here is this spot right here. This staircase here is this staircase right here. The second class staircase. And the second class staircase is arguably more classy than the first class staircase, if you ask me. Because the elevator, firstly, is behind this. It no longer operates, but back when it was in service, you could go see the elevator going down. Unless this is a mirror, actually. I always thought you could see the elevator through it, but it might be a mirror. Here they are, second class elevators. Historical elevator. I absolutely adore the molding on the tops of these staircases here. That is gorgeous molding. Down the staircase. This is where one of the fancy clocks would be. They still have the mount for it here. Or a replacement. I always want to do Queen Mary stuff in fine detail, but I am very sporadic in my brain mind, and I really need to just write out a huge script. But we're getting a sample pack of a big video that I want to do at some point. Second class staircase. I love you. There's outside. This would be the second class part of the promenade deck. So, it's the second class part of the promenade deck. There would have been kind of a turnabout, and it would have been a room over here. This would have been a room at the end of the promenade, and it is now all open-ended. I didn't even notice this ghost lady right here. That's a time. Oh my god, she has a sisterhood. That's from one of the old-fashioned fire extinguishers. So walking back towards the bow, we have the first class smoking room right here, now called the Royal Salon. This is where men would retreat to smoke. And there's no longer smoking on the Queen Mary. Look at these beautiful components. Here you can see a diagram of the ship right here. Look at this diagram. smoked inside the smoking room. Right there. That's what they're doing. They smoke right in there. There's the second class smoking room, which is right, the door is right at the elevator bank. There's not much of that. It is the wedding chapel now. I don't think these chairs are original, but I think this table is in fact an original table for the Queen Mary. That is very cool. It might be a replication, I don't know, but I don't know, that one's a little bit different. They're definitely not where they once were, but there's a lot of them out here. So I do not believe this passage right here was original. I do believe this is not Queen Mary wood. Hello. Because this would have been, this would have been part of the long gallery. So a big long room behind these windows here, the long gallery, which is chopped up into sections to be offices and things. You can kind of get a look in there. Yeah, see how it's been kind of, hold on. It has been chopped into sections in here. And you might not believe this fact. This is a true fact right here. The Long Gallery is called the Long Gallery because it's long. Did you know that? Now, this would have been midship bar right here. And I do not believe this counter is original at all, but they kept the motif of the design on it. It would have been this counter right here, midship bar. In the later years of the ship, they added another bar into the long gallery. It was added in the early 1960s. And it had my favorite painting, The Mill Circus by Laura Knight. It's my all-time favorite painting, and if I could use it as my album cover for my second album, I would be the happiest person ever. I don't know what the copyright laws are. This is a wonderful movie, cast photo from a wonderful movie called The Poseidon Adventure, which was filmed partly on the Queen Mary. There's Shelley Winters, fantastic actress, I love her. There's a lot, there's Mermaid Man. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, that's Mermaid Man. The Poseidon Adventure is actually based on an event that happened to the Queen Mary during World War II where she almost capsized. But it was like 2 more degrees and she would have capsized. So this ship would have flipped upside down. And that is what this movie was about. And they portrayed it so very well. This movie, this Irwin Allen production, is so wonderful. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. There's got to be a morning after. Beautiful promenade deck. There's some entry doors right here. Look at these entry doors. When you're at a port, passengers can enter the ship right at these doors here, and they have gone to silhouette mode, but there's the parking lot out there. It's beautiful. They used to have a London town over here. It's gone. I don't know if I can take a peek at this real quick, but this is the first class lounge right here. I haven't seen it in a few years, but I'll just peep my head in. There's the original stage, not the original curtains. I'll rear more than my head in for a moment. What an opportunity to peep real quickly. See, I don't know how many we don't have time to line up photographs, but I will have them prepared. Here's the fireplace. They restored this mural recently, and it is gorgeous. The roof, on the other hand, needs some love, but we will get to that point. The glass in this mirror and this mirror are tinted pink, so that when you're out at sea, your flesh, if you're seasick, your flesh looks normal, and it plays a mind trick on you. Can you see my pinkness in this mirror? It's very much more pink actually. You can kind of see it, that everything's pinker in here. So you look like you're not dying of the sea sickness through this mirror right here. Look at this beautiful, these would be heaters. They did not like fireplaces in the world. They're tearing down stuff right now. Look at this big stage. With the rains coming up, these wood is not prospering quite correctly. Big curtains on this side. There's that big mural. Maybe I can get a few pictures right here. As long as I'm not like harming nothing. And respecting my surroundings. But this was the first class lounge right here. There's the stage. It would have movie nights. There's a screen that comes down from somewhere. And back in this mural that they've redone, there are projector boxes right here, and they would project movies from right up in there, right here. Ah, they really did a nice job on this. These beautiful onyx lamps right here. Here's some of the original parquet floor still with us. The rest, no more. But we have party carpet now, so, you know. But we have gigantic onyx lamps. Look at this, what's inside there? Did you know that? That's what it looks like to be very tall and loud. We have these beautiful statue things above the doors here. And these little waiting areas that you really kind of ignore, but they are very nice. They had very nice lamps in there. If you see these brackets in here in the lounge, these are so they could secure ropes, so when the ship sways like such out at sea, people can grab those ropes and they can hold on for dear life, because this ship rocked a lot. Rolling Mary, they said back in the day. They're tearing down a fence right now. I just want to be respectful of what they're doing too. Here's another one of those murals up here. This is like the Grand Central mural above here. Tis beautiful. See, these are actually not air conditioning vents. These are more lights that were disconnected when it came to Long Beach. And it is all British cords, so they can't use it. There's an ACDC something or other, Highway to Hell power company. That's a secret alleyway. But they have this man and a horse over here. These statues in the back. And they have another one over here. But, oh, I love the shape of these lights. These lights are so nice. There's another statue right there. And then we have a big statue right here. Look at these big heavy statue. Now I do believe this is a room that the piano went berserk in once, so that's a fun fact. Broke free at sea, went berserk. I think one of the things I like most about Mary is it's a very easy place to do the then and now photographs. And I'm very fascinated by that sort of thing. Look at this beautiful room, like gorgeous. And these windows up here look out over some sporty things on that side and some sporty things on that side. Like big round windows. And they have, at sea, they would have covers that you could put over them. And the covers are gone, but the windows shine on. So this would be about this right here. So I had not realized that the doors are closed now, and I might be kind of locked in. I've never seen this before, this space with the staircase to the projection room right here. Very new place. Projection room. These are the four, this is the projection room. These are the four things behind the mural here. You've seen the projection room. Such a treat. Such an absolute treat. Actually, you see this space right here. If I walk by this door here, if you go over here, this goes actually back into the smoking room. So you can see that they've boarded up to protect the wood. And this hatchway back here, this pathway. Have we had enough lounge? Can we ever really have enough lounge? No, we can't, but we are going to leave the lounge because we've got very lucky. Now we're going to move forward past the lounge. The radio room right here, right past the first class lounge, you would go down the hall into towards the radio room here, and you could make ship-to-shore telephone calls right from in this room right here. See if we can peek in there. Here's part of the room. There's the first class lounge that we were in. We go back past here. Look at these beautiful panels. I love these panels. The radio room is right here. And they have motifs of things on the glass. It's kind of beautiful. The radio room is back through here. I don't think you can go in it because there's museum pieces, but it's in there. So this is coming forward. There's the first class lounge right here. This would be coming forward into the mall space right here. So this right here would be this right here. This is fun. So this right here would be this right here. Ignore this thing, it belongs in the first class dining room. It is here now. Look at these beautiful books. When do the shops open? I want to purchase things. Did you know that? I always want to. This beautiful shopping kiosk, which I'm gonna do this one a little different because it's hard to show the whole thing as it is. If I show a shopping kiosk like so, the shopping kiosks like so, right inside of there. This would be right here.
Fell into place. Everything fell into place when
It is small in here.
I was sitting there.
A little bit.
In that lovely black dress.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's not a very big space. That's all I have to say. It's where the lectures happen. Not many people came to the lectures, guys. Right past the lecture room over here is the music room. Chunk between the promenade forward and this interior corridor space. The original music room. I don't know what in here is original from the original times. This is currently the only picture I have of it. Take that for what you will. I think it had big curtains over there. Now, this is the observation bar at the front of the ship. It is closed right now, but we'll get to it. And then over there is the portside promenade deck, which has been cut into chunks to be a part of a restaurant. There's a nice staircase right here. Look at this staircase right here. And this one still has the original linoleum. Read the original. And if you look careful in the corners, there are usually divots like that of when ladies' high heels, they would stand in the corner. There's a lot over here. Look at these ones. Look at these divots of the divots. You can kind of see them at an angle there. At sea, ladies in their fancy shoes would have to stand like this when the ship was rocking. So there are holes in the floor, guys. Did you know that? Here's a spooky perspective for you. If you're curious about spooky perspective stuff. We're back on the promenade again. It looks like the ship is getting more ready to ship. And here's the gift shop, which is the first class library. The other side of it, we've gone all around the first class library at this point now. Oh, they got such nice gift shop gifts. What a coincidence. I purchased this already. PSAM RB deck. Somebody did this. That's very not nice. I'm glad they didn't do it to the, they did do it to the wood. What rude people. This is a beautiful wood pattern. There's another door back here. That's extra spooky, actually. Oh. Oh, it smells good down here. I think that's because they're going to have a big Sunday brunch, but I was hoping I could take a peep. I probably can't because I can take a peep through the door. They get this all set up nice. The first class dining room right here, which I don't think I can very much into, but we'll take a little peep. Take a little peep. Look at that right there. That's unsettling. Oh. But look at how they got it set up just like it was for first class. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? No wonder this is so expensive. Okay, but anyway. We're not going to go too deep into there. Maybe after the event is over, I can ask. But I just wanted to take a quick peep. Quick peep. Royal Sunday brunch. I wonder how much that is. I'd pay for that right now. Oh, I got some pictures of this area. You want to see some pictures of this area and this area over here? Look at that down there. That's the first class pool. Right off the dining room. Eat and swim, queens. Let's see, take a peek over here. See, they're setting it up. So originally, the dining room didn't start until after this section here. They got it out. This was another funnel hatch right here. I think the forward funnel hatch. Here we are in our million forms. But yeah, this is the, God, they do a nice job with this. You can see they got smokestacks over there and the food, and they got the table set up so nice. So this area right here between the pool and the dining room would be this area right here. You don't get to see much of the pool on the Queen Mary, but you get a glimpse now, which is more than you did for a long time. This is the glimpse you get of the pool right here before my very eyeball face. Mother of pearl ceiling, gorgeous room. Terracotta tiles. This is kind of a cool perspective right here. I think I need to walk just a little ways because I would like to go to second class, which is a ways away. First class grand staircase, not quite as nice as second, I swear, I tell you every time. Into the deep corridors right here of the ship. B deck. She's crusty. So this deck would go into a straight line into this part if this right here wasn't the other side of the first class dining room. Right here behind this wall. The other side, I think these panels are different because there was a staircase either right here or right here. There's a staircase that the captain would come down on this side of the room, and that was his entrance to the first class dining room. This is still somewhat of an anomaly. I can't find the pictures I have of it at the moment. It doesn't look like there was a staircase in here before. I don't see how that would work because this is centered. I'm pretty sure the stairs were right here, and they are gone. So these panels are from somewhere else, I think. These are somewhere else panels. Or maybe there was just one like entrance to this, like one panel removed for the staircase to be there. I don't know, but this was a staircase. I'm pretty sure it was this side. That was a staircase down to the back side of the dining room. Long corridors, the B deck. B deck, C deck, E deck. Look at these. This is how we learn our alphabet, guys. Oh my God, the handrail's gone. What if the ship rocks? Second class staircase. Now this is down by the second class barber shop over here. This was the second class staircase. It continues down further, but it is now very blocked off by a blockade door. So see how the staircase would continue to go down to the second class pool down underneath. Yeah, it just goes deep. Just continues on with it. I don't think I ever looked in there before, but it's just exactly the same. It just goes down to a deck that is now an employee deck. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, going up to A deck. A deck. Going up to main deck. Main deck, main deck. People are trying to use the elevator. So, this staircase is a hub of second class rooms, and the room we're curious about right now is the second class library, which would have been right here. This hallway did not go through like this. That spaceway right there, and we're getting a peek at the second class library. But initially, this was not open. And I guess it still isn't because that's a door. Oh, there's a secret darkness room. That's very spooky. So actually that room that we walked in and turned on the lights, that was an outdoor passage. So there was actually an outside, right? I'll show you. So from here, see, here's the original molding of the roof. So this section, from this cut bulkhead, this was the edge of the library right here. Then, these two doors, this was a breezeway across the ship. This was a breezeway outside. So first class ended, this was outdoor wall right here. Where they got these panels from. Then, there was another wall here. And this was outside. But the reason I've noticed that just now is because we are in a special place. Look at this symbol. It's not a stop sign. Okay, That symbol is going to be very important, and you're going to recognize it as the most recognizable featurette. This was the second class library right here, and you'll notice some similarities between this picture. It's a little more angled than I can get, but this is this right here. So if you can't tell, this room has been chopped up to make the hotel more cohesive nowadays. Half of the room is employee space and half of the room is hallway now. So this is what you're looking at. So something else kind of nuts is that if you look at this, original photograph, what is this over here next to the stop sign? Those are bookcases for the second class library. Now, what is that now, you say? Let me show you something. I'm not going to show you in real time here, but that is around the corner where the bookcases are. And a lot of times libraries and stuff would double as like churches on the weekends. On Sunday, it is Sunday now, it is a church. But these bookcases still exist. So this was the big opening right here. This whole sealed panel around this door here. Converted. If you go in here, here are the original bookcases, which were on both sides recently. I don't know when that changed, but the original bookcases are still in here, right here. Isn't this wild? Go through this way. I love the second class library. So this is where that church-esque mural would have been, right? Somewhere back here. I guess it went to here. That's where the mural would have been, right here in that picture, right here. And on the side of that, actually, this whole area has been kind of Frankensteined a bit from other places on board, because this was initially on both sides. So over on that side too, these would have been outside the ship, and I think extended that way too. So through this wall would have just gone straight through to the stern. Trying to get my bearings now. But this whole side's kind of Frankensteinian, because there was a bar in this space right here. So imagine that's closed off. There was a bar here, a children's playroom next to the bar. So the bar and children's playroom would have been right here, but they've gutted this part. This one's kind of a big hub, because right here you have the Queen Mary second class lounge. So the main lounge for the second class passengers is right in here. We can't get in there right now, but it is there. Big space. Another one that I think is more beautiful, arguably, than the first class one. Though, I do believe it is a smaller space. There was a shop here, the Austin Reed shop. Not a big space, but you could go in here, second class, you could buy stuff inside of this kiosk here, which is very black inside, I don't know, but this is a shop. You would blink and miss it. This right here, this jet out from the second class lounge, this jet out right here. There's the Austin Reed store in historical photography. See, they have carpets on the Queen Mary now, but they had beautiful, beautiful tile floors in second class. So, the Austin Reed store then, and this is it now. This is inside the Austin Reed store right here. That's what's inside there. Not a big space at all, but it was something for second class passengers in regards to having like a mall like first class does. So right here where these cutout doors are, I'm gonna say this is where the second class playroom was. Right here. Right there. And then on this side over here was the Queen Mary second class bar right there. So arguably here, this area right here, long thin rooms, but you know, there's enough space for it. Two long thin rooms. Are those divots in any of these pictures? No, there was a longer well, but that's the same size. I'm trying to figure out how that L shape of the bar actually fit right here, because it seems off. Am I off? Looking at these divots, I saw in the picture they had about that size divot, but I don't think divots are original. And this was outside space over here. This one's the one that's been the most fun. This area has been the most fun to kind of figure out when really, like, it's not that hard. Because I do have these I can pull up that has the lounge and then the library, where it would be library on that side. And then this side was the children's playroom and the bar, exactly as I said. So, if we're looking this way to the staircase, we are looking down this passage right here to see the first class hallway right there? That would be on the other side of that breezeway I talked about. Breezeway. So the children's playroom and the bar. And the library on this side. And that breezeway went all around, all the way to the stern. And then if you want to see it today, that's what you get, right there. Except they took out office right there and they made it open. The beautiful Frankenstein section on main deck. What a gas, what a fun thing to science. I'm gonna make my way to the bow of the ship. Well, at this point, we might as well just go to the stern. We don't hang out on the stern nearly enough. Sterns are a great place. Look at this beautiful staircase. We were up there. Remember that room? Here we go. Look at these beautiful tapestries. Tapestries, as you say with an accent, right there. Here's the gates. They lock you down there, so you can never leave. That is factually incorrect. And I will not lie to you. On purpose. This is the second class smoking room. It is above the lounge because smoke rises. Does that make sense? That's why they put it so high. It is a wedding chapel now. There's a wedding chapel in there. I don't know if on this side is more. It's like a lobby section now for like a thing that they added. But here's the main top floor to the second class spatial areas. And you would originally come out to this club thing, which I think would be right out here on the promenade. And it was like a little restaurant-y thing, which I wonder, I can't figure out where this was placed at the second. I was trying to match it up. It might be from the other side looking forward instead of from the port side looking aft. So I don't know. It was worth some kind of attempt. We tried. A second class smoking room right before my eyeballs. And you know what? We're outside. On the stern. They are disembarking cruise ship people. The Carnival. Wait, Carnival? Carnival has a different smokestack than I remember it having. When did they do this? When did you do this, Carnival? That dome right here used to house the Spruce Goose. And there's the Spruce Goose now. He's angry. His house has been taken over by pedestrians of the crew. There's the promenade we just came from. There is the veranda grill. There's a party room up there, let me tell you. I've never been in it before, but it is gorgeous. We can peep in the windows. Oh, it looks so bare without the lifeboats. I've been here a few times where the lifeboats still existed, but they were threatening to capsize this ship. Some ventilators right here. Look at this sexy ventilator. We love a ventilator. This was a racquetball court up here, right here. Racquetball court. They had a gazebo here for a long time. It was ugly. They killed it. It's time for the Queen Mary to go off. Okay, let's get that like that. Right there. There's the squash courts that were right here. That could have been better, but we tried. There's a lot of staircases like this that were added in Long Beach days for regulations. There's an original staircase right there, and then another Long Beach staircase next to it. They're having a private event, but we're gonna peek over the side here so we can get the tiers. So that's crew up there, first class, first class. Well, no, this was second class because the promenade didn't go all the way back. Second class space, an ancient second class staircase right before our eyes. This might have been added in Long Beach too. Staircases don't last very long. Second class and then crew, I think, down there. In theory, I'm pretty sure that's the configuration. This right here is the docking bridge. So there's a bridge at the front of the ship where you drive the ship. There would have been another wheel right there to help get the ship into port, because the ship is 1,019 feet, so it is very long. Look at this. A lot of the rigging was ripped out. I'm glad this is still here. That whole deck down there had equipment on it, all gone. They haven't redecked this yet back here. Look at us taking casual moments at the stern. Casual moments at the stern. This was a phone booth brought from Britain on the Queen Mary's last voyage, and it is still here. The Queen Mary carried 2 British buses on board too, somewhere, during the last voyage to Long Beach. Fun facts you didn't know yet. The Veranda Grill. It's the Queen Mary's nightclub. If you were a first class passenger, this is the place you'd want to be seen at night. And it hasn't changed too incredibly much. It's very cleared out for events. It's actually easier to see into after nighttime, but I don't know if I'm going to be here till nighttime. I got here at 7 in the morning, so why am I squinting when I could be wearing my pimpin' goggles? Yeah, they built these for sailors on board. A whole new section later on. Semi-aftermarket to the ship existing. Big funnels and ventilators. Gonna make our way to the bow. Cruise ship people are disembarking over here. Now, after traveling the length of the ship, we're going this way. Look at these stairs, they're having a time. Tragedy. We're gonna come around here. It's gonna be gorgeous and windy, let me tell you. Oh. There it is, the bow. Beautiful bow. The bow. Welcome to the bow of the Queen Mary. This is the very front of the ship. If you've ever seen the movie Titanic, you stand up there and you do this. And T-pose for the world. And that's why Titanic sank. Now we started today down there. My car is right over there. Here are the 2 iconic ventilators. If we go 1 deck higher, we'd be at the bridge of the ship. I haven't seen this stuff in a minute. Captain's quarters, I haven't seen that in a minute, but it's open. This is the bridge up there. Captain's quarters. Haven't been in here in a moment. So, a lot of this has been cut out and stuff, but there are rooms up here. These are really cool. They scroll up over the window, and they're window blinds. An original fan. Queen Mary had these fans everywhere, first class. The captain's steward. Little room up here. Little steward bed. Steward middle. As you can see, she was a spy. There's the steward's pantry. Delicious things. And it tells you who wanted something right just now. There you go. You can see who wanted something right just now. There were more rooms back here, but they are gutted. I think this was a room where they just entertained important people. Right in the corner over here. If I'm thinking of the deck plan, I haven't looked at it in a minute. But the captain's bedroom at the bow of the ship. Most fancy and elegant. It is most fancy and elegant. And off the bedroom he would have entertainment room. He could entertain for days. It's his day room. Staff captain, second in command. This was the captain's bathroom right here. It's a captain's toilet, guys, let me tell you. Chief engineering room. Chief engineer's room over here. There's his bedroom right there. I don't know why they put blood spattered bedspread on it, but there it is. Super windy at the bow, but we were down there a minute ago. Now we are up here. People are exploring. That lady's like, wow, a giant mushroom. She loves giant mushrooms, guys, let me tell you. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Look at that. So if you're not sure how big the funnels are on the Queen Mary, and not only big, but are tall, very tall. They actually recently reinstalled this sporting place. Look at this, Sportness, right behind the first putt funnel. Tennis right here. Here's the wireless room. And I don't exactly know if it was the original wireless room, but it's got some neat stuff in it. It might have been, actually. Right behind the bridge over there. I don't know when this happened, but there's AstroTurf now, guys. Remember when I showed you those windows in the lounge? These are those windows right here. More importantly, these are the doors that were the area that the projector room was. Remember the projector room? Right inside here. We've got lounge windows, projector room, which is probably where they stored the covers for the windows when they still existed. Local passenger wildlife, I love you. I love you, wildlife, local. Two smokestacks right here. See, from the Mary to the Elizabeth, the deck up here was it was more so unpopular. People didn't like how many ups and downs this one single deck had. So when the Queen Elizabeth was built, it was all flat, continuous, less complicated. These big ventilators. And here, this is how you get air all the way pumped down. It flows in, pumps down into the ship, and irrigates everything. It's the irrigation system. Just this. This is inside a ventilator. I think this is, they kind of cut out a lot of the ventilator stuff because when the Queen Mary opened, like in the 70s, they made a lot of these hamburger stands, and they're storage and hamburger stands, and this is one of the hamburger journeys that they had on the Queen Mary. Alleyway to Portside, that's spooky. We don't want no haunted thing. Yes, we do. We love haunted things. What am I even saying? I love how the trash cans match the smokestacks. Blessed. Back to the first class mall. This goes right down if we follow this right here, and we're gonna end up somewhere somewhat familiar. Been here before? Yes, we have. It's the mall. And the stores are opening. The bookstore is opening. Oh wait, that's why nobody's in here. I didn't even read that last time. There's the bookstore right here. They've got earrings and books. And I think one was flowers and one was newspapers back in the day, but they have RMS Queen Mary official facts, which I kind of want to learn, honestly. Okay, I don't want to know about the ghost though. So next door at the what shop, I have to remember that if I buy something, I have to hold it. So that is my usual deterrent from buying things right now. Voices from Her Voyages. That book looks cool too. Where's that one? I want to read that one. Where are the voices from the voyage? I don't know. Here it is. How much are you? The other one was 15. This one is 25. June 3rd, we arrived in New York and docked at Pier 90. That makes sense. Wait, is there any from while the ship is going? The Queen Mary was the first transatlantic vessel. The accommodations for Jewish passengers. Okay. Yeah, so there's fun facts in that one too, Queen. Queen of the Queen Mary. Can we talk about the excitement of being inside this store space? What a treat. What a treat it is. That is a candy store. Was it originally a candy store? Is that the one that was a candy store initially? Maybe it was flowers back in the day, but it's candy now. There's candies everywhere. So it looks like this whole thing is like you can go to any of these and pick up something and then pay for it in the main store branch over here. Portside Marketplace. Yeah, right here. But this was the first class library, as you can see right here. So this is what it looked like back in the day, and this is it today in action. Do you want to hear the Queen Mary speak the words? Do you want to hear the noises of the face? It's about to happen. Speak your words, Queen. I want to hear your ghostly voice. Even though I was waiting for it. Look at the positioning, like just cars, normal cars. Look at how big this thing is. Like, my god. I just ate in the car, so that's where I was, over here in the car for an hour. I bought this really cool book, a very informative book, a $30 book, but I love it. I'm gonna read the whole thing. Reading books. Ah, look at this beautiful marvel. Horn scared me a lot. Here's an interesting factoid. Second class was at the stern of the ship over there. Third class, that is a third class smoking room right there. Public space. So we'll explore third class soon. We have a lot to cover still. We've covered some things, but not all the things that I want. They're printing my membership pass in this secret building right here outside the submarine that is deteriorating before my face. You can really kind of see the rivets. Do you see the rivets on this rivety side? Look at these rivets right here. This is a way for crew or somebody to go. But we're looking at rivets. So many what a good perspective. That's so nice. Look at the clouds going by up there. It's like she's sailing. It's almost like it's sailing again, watching the clouds go by like that. My beautiful ship. The lifeboat, for perspective, is humongous in itself. It's a size comparison right there. Let's get back on board with my new membership card. I looked up the Sunday brunch and it is $90 a person, but it looks like they have a store out here too. That's really cool. They have food trucks as preparation for the Sunday brunch. Food trucks to prepare for eating, bless. Oh, my beautiful love. Look at these beautiful rivets. You know, we love to touch rivets. Look at, we're gonna touch a rivet, guys. Oh my god, oh my god. I accidentally entered in a different deck than I thought, but that's fine. There's a gift shop over here we didn't look at yet, so. Hello. Little gift shop.
I paid a lot.
Queen Mary bears. Someday I will own all of this, but I'm collecting it little by little. Queen Mary cotton swabs. I bought that book today, and it is a very good, informative book. Walking up to the Travel Bureau reminds me that we need to take a peep at the Travel Bureau of what it looked like back in the day. I matched up a photo right where I am, actually. So right here, the elevator banks in the back. Right here, elevator banks in the back. This historical photo of the Travel Bureau right here. Very similar today. So it's divided into two spaces behind glass here, but they have like a display of the Travel Bureau stuff. And then they have the part you can be inside of here. And this is cool because I looked in this last time and there was little brochure nooks. So you can get your trips to Magic Mountain and things. Aren't these windows lovely? They're continents. Look at this beautiful, streamlined little design right here. That is beautiful. Oh, that's back on. I think this was off last time I was here, and it's such a nice little chandelier thing. What I wouldn't give to see the original linoleum, though, of these hallways, because let me tell you, it was gorgeous. Added a whole other dimension to this. I've said this before, but not in this video. The reason that there is carpeting is because of noise. So back in the day, the ship would hum, the engine would hum, everything would hum like a little hummingbird, let me tell you. And when it got to Long Beach, you could basically hear everybody saying everything in every place. They had to carpet this to absorb the noise that echoed through the halls and corridors of the Queen Mary. So that is why there is carpet. Who picked the pattern? I don't know, but I don't like you. What did I call this? Angry fish floor paper? Yeah, there's an angry fish and he rages at the pearls and the seaweeds, kelps. It's nautical, but like, I have not the words. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Here's Queen Mary daily events. There's a spring fling downstairs. That's probably what that is. A candlelight concert and the Sunday brunch. Well, that's useful knowledge. Oh, well, actually, it looks like there's only one of each of these, so I'm not gonna take them. But it's nice to know the secret. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This picture right here is this spot right here. Matching history, queens, let me tell you. It's like I can still hear the hum of the ship. This corridor is just gorgeous. Never get enough. I can never ever get enough. Another fantastic space on the Queen Mary was the first class observation bar, which now looks like this. The observation bar had the most gorgeous couches. Long gone at this point. Around the Long Beach era, they gutted out this wall to extend the observation bar, but that is a picture of Walt Disney at the forward turnabout of the promenade deck, and that was right here in this spot. I just spent some time guesstimating the spot and come to find out, yes, this was the spot because it is posted. Now that the ship is coming to life and it is noon or afternoon, we're gonna see if some of the other rooms are open. We're in the mall, guys. Look at this beautiful mall again. These are not Art Deco chairs, but they are stately. I can respect their stateliness. They're better than the carpet. So from this spot in the mall, what this all actually is, here's what everything is going around the room here. So if you go this way, you have the first class lounge right back there. You have the radio room coming around, elevator bank. Then you have shop, which would have been the flower shop, I think, back then. We go around. We have first class library. We took a look at that. That is the store now. We have a shop here. Then the drawing room, which was the room where first class women would retreat to. And that was for them, where men had the smoking room. And then we have another shop over here. Okay, well, continuing after the shop would have been the writing room back here. The writing room is where you could write letters and things, and the writing room has been turned into the toilets. But you can see all these more transcriptions right here. This room was a funnel hatch, so it's not real. This room was fabricated for the hotel, not a real room. So there are spaces past the lounge right here. Here's the other door to the lounge on this side. It was the cinema, which was a ballroom before that, and it is now dismantled for the hotel. That is what the writing room looks like for your curiosity doors. I'm crazy about these built-ins though, let me tell you. What gorgeous things. Staircase going to the deck above. So this area, when the ship launched, was very dark because all of the walls were dark wood, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. They were dark wood, so the room was very dark. And then those panels are still behind these, but they put these pigskin panels over the top of all of the wood and brightened up the space. Look at how bright it is now. There are many varieties of wood on the Queen Mary. Here's a sample of many different woods on the Queen Mary. This was from the Cunard offices. It is covering the starboard elevator bank. Only the port works over here. Still, there's a lot fewer elevators that work on the Queen Mary now than when it was in service, let me tell you. I'm trying to make my way to the third class now to look at third class. Third class staircase right here. Thank God my camera adds a lot of light to here because it is dark This was all very light wood back in the day. Hold on, I'll pull up pictures. It's time. Okay, so this is how bright things used to be in this staircase. Now, we are one deck different than this picture because that spot doesn't technically exist anymore. But you can see how the lighting dynamic, but you can get a clear dynamic of how changing everything to dark changed this space. This room right here was the children's playroom, which is right here, third class children's playroom. And it was a storage room, but she just opened the door and it looks like it's completely cleared out. So that is a plus positive thing. I have realized that these stairs are stripped of carpet. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Is there anything original left of these? Yeah, they're smooth, but they don't show. So that other picture I showed you was taken from around the corner here, but these walls were not here yet. So this picture I showed you before is actually the same space as this. And the windows in this picture are actually, let me tell you, these windows right here are presented before you. This was the third class dining room. And the third class dining room is almost unrecognizable. It's been very chopped up. So the configuration, the original configuration, this is about the only part that we can see, this square in the middle of the third class dining room. The rest has been divided into separate spaces, but this is part of it right here. This would be right when you walk in the door, the center focal mirror, as it would have to go around a funnel hatch. So the back side here. The ship's center. Dizzying spot. But yeah, this might be an original wall. Yeah, this is an original wall of it. You can touch history. Touch the third class dining room. I'm trying to match up pictures, but I don't think it's possible. I was trying to match these frame workings on the ceiling up, and I thought they did match up a lot better, but they don't. I do think the mirror in this picture, right in center screen, I think that mirror might be this mirror here. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's head back up a deck. Okay, so this room on the right side, the Carpathia room now, would have been the third class cinema room, as shown in these two photos here. These rooms are always locked. I have never been able to get into there. The room directly across from the cinema lounge was a more general purpose, kind of library-esque room. It had some bookcases in it. They didn't get a full library, but they got about this much in third class. Okay, and we looked at the third class nursery picture already. Here's a picture of the Queen Mary in New York just doing her thing. Up to A deck. A deck. We are definitely on a deck. Wow, the ground slopes up. So up the staircase on A deck in third class. And this was the main passageway. Like A ship didn't really, I mean, towards the end, a lot of first class area up here became third class. There was not a lot of space for third class passengers. This was the main hub, this staircase. This would be the smoking room, which has been completely changed. Now let's see if we can get in a recognizable part of it. Nothing's recognizable. Maybe if I fall back in as far as I can this way. Traveling and convenience and style. I don't even know. This room was very big for smoking. Okay, so if we look at historical pictures, that's the smoking room. And you know what? It is so hard to find a distinguishable thing in this freaking room. These windows are distinguishable. Okay, we found something. We're following the curve of the bow. That's where we are. We are at the bow. See, there's the bow right there. I just want to find a distinguishable feature of this room. So, yeah, this room was very chopped up. This was a third class public room, but they're using it for lots of Lots of museum space, guys, to show off watertight doors and things. This was definitely not this high on the ship. So it's so hard to distinguish anything. I think I might have something. I feel like I'm looking at the wrong room. The pictures I have for this, to where they are dancing right here, and looking at those windows, I'm wondering, that seems like they are not the windows I am looking for. Something is off. There's absolutely nothing distinguishable about the third class smoking room. Like, yeah. This is the same spot. This is the same spot. There's the Queen Mary being majestic in her youth. Look at that, she's moving. We're in that room right there. Right there, oh. There we go. Everybody's like, bye. Okay, so we're gonna go up to the third class garden lounge, which should be up here and around the corner. Yeah. Should be right around here. We can't go inside, but we can look into it. This room right here. I've been in here once, I can't remember when, but this room is this room, but not at the same angle. This is the top of the third class staircase. The last room you get to is the garden lounge. I guess you could distinguish the poles. I swear I have pictures of this with those pillars in there. From the top of the grand staircase, out the door. We are down here, look at this. A game of sorts. It's windy today. There's the bow. This was third class public space out on this. Out here. And one deck down was also third class public space. And that was pretty much it. Down here. Third class public deck space. Not a ton. There's the new amphitheater. There's the superstructure at the bow. Why is it so windy up here today? It's only the bow. The stern ain't windy, let me tell you. Gale force winds knocking everything over, guys. You know what this is? This right here, this is the mast. It goes that way. And to get to the crow's nest, you climb up through the inside of it. Fun fact for you out there. This beautiful superstructure right here. Gorgeous. This deck machinery. Crane machineries. And there's the first class, there's the cargo hatch for first class passengers. Just drop them on in. This box sits here because this is a motor for the elevator they installed in Long Beach. There's a gun right there, that's fun. I escaped to the promenade deck, guys. No worries, no rush. Here's another angle of the music room, in case you want to see it from this side, which is kind of cool. You don't get to see that wall there. You don't get to see this angle of it. You expect me to believe that you're doing magic spells when you still think weed is oregano. Oh, Her Haunted Legend. That's a cool book. These are the books. I just bought that book today. There's another book. I was thinking about that one. There's so many books in the world today that I need to read. If Long Beach Monopoly, fine. If it was Queen Mary Monopoly, I would buy it, no hesitation, and I would play it for 36 hours all by myself. I have realized that this panel over here is an existing window from the second class pool, which was dismantled. So that is really cool to have preserved over there. That would have been at the bottom of the second class staircase. I believe this is a chair from the first class pool. And here was a deck chair. Beautiful table. Look at those things over there. Barbershop chairs and barbershop hairs. Gorgeous stuff. These panels from, I believe, the first class dining room. I'm trying to go like this. First class dining room panel. Telemotor right there. A telemotor is like a ship transmission. Radio room. There it is, back in its heyday when it had a radio. Oh, I want a Queen Mary phone like that one. Queen Mary phone. I was looking at antique shops. I'm looking. Look at that. Beautiful table. I feel like I know where that specific table straight ahead used to be. That is one of the lounge tables, I think, right here. Looking at furniture. Is that Queen Mary over there? She's very majestic. She's like a lion. There's a Queen Mary ashtray. You can find these on eBay. And I want one, but not for like 300 bucks. Here's the first class lounge again. They're having their prom in there. My prom was at boring hotels. I went to 3 proms, guys. Did you know that? Oh my God. So, first class lounge. This would have been the long gallery here, but it is ruined. There was a ballroom here, or ballroom somewhere over here originally. Really nice. They took that out before the ship stopped being a ship, and they changed it into a cinema. And they had another lounge here. Yeah, this was first class here, and then second class was back this way. So, second class smoking room, first class smoking room, first class areas, first class lounge. So this is a picture of the long gallery, and I'm trying to match up this really long see the vent system above that door and the little different shapes of them. Well, that vent shape is a staircase that is in between 2 galleries, and I think that looking right through this window, that bigger one, I think that's covered up. That is the long vent above it, and this is a panel dividing this room. It does not match the rest of the stuff in this room. See how the long gallery was divided into sections? Oh, it's in there though. This is the end of the long gallery, and I'm pretty sure, look at the sconces by the picture, the lights. That is the same spot right there. That is the same spot right here. Same original end of the long gallery. Cruise ship over there. The wind is so berserk today, let me tell you. Look at this beautiful perspective. There's a man down there. I want to go on that deck so bad. You know, there's a place that we could go. The engine room. We are at the stern of the ship. You can see right here. The cruise ship is doing cruisy things. The stern of the Queen Mary, right here. This is the second class overflow lounge. This is the overflow lounge. The lounge is above. Yeah, the overflow lounge is now called like the capstan room or something, and it's completely redid. Like, this is not what it looked like at all. Some say it's because there was a fire in here, but nobody knows for sure. It's a legend of something. I don't know. Urban suburban legends. We're gonna go in this door down into the isolation ward, part of the hospital of the Queen Mary. Ooh. Well, I guess it's different than the hospital, because I think the hospital was midship. When I was coming here a while back, I think even for my birthday, these were not walled off like this. It was just like a gate. Now it is walled off. Look at this support beam. But if we go back here, it's the isolation ward. The ward of isolation at the very stern of the Queen Mary. So it's cool because they show you some of the, where there would be deck machinery upstairs. They have the machinery that runs that, the capstans. This would spin down here, the capstan would spin up there and pull up ropes. So here, this does my work for me. Look at this perspective on the women's isolation ward, which is right here. It's where they would isolate you if you were sick as a passenger, because when something spreads at sea and you're at sea for a week, they don't want everybody on ship getting that. Dizzying back here right now. There's something in the air. Whew. It's natural gas. Natural gas is filling up the hospital. Layout of the Queen Mary's medical facilities. Hospital facilities. Portside sea deck. So that is 5. I thought it was midship. Midship hospital, because as the ship pitches forward and back at sea, the middle moves the least. That's why the first class dining room is right in the middle. Queen Mary's morgue was in fact the ice room located on the port. Oh yes, so if you died, they just put you in the room that has ice cubes in it, so you could be part of beverages. There was a doctor upstairs too. A deck, that's lobby's B deck. So one up from the lobby on the first class staircase is a doctor's office, which has probably been turned into rooms at this point. That is a perspective. Is that the ice room? That's the ice room, guys. That's where your body goes sometime. Hospital, burial at sea. Do you know what these are called? These are called punkaloovers. And they squirt air conditioning. You've probably seen them on airplanes, but these are bigger ones. I've seen them at airports, like huge ones. Comic-Con has them, they're huge. Capstan machinery, I love you. Look at this, look at the Queen Mary's beautiful toe tag. Ooh. Rope storage. This is where they store lengths of a rope. Several lengths of a rope. I love the Queen Mary. I love her with my life. I love the Queen Mary. I wish she was my wife. Outside the grand dining room where they're doing the breakfast, brunch, and dinner. Which actually, let's see that in action real quickly. First class dining room, or where the windows go into sets of 3 right here. In fact, outside the first class dining room, inside the first class dining room. Take a quick peep at that. Look at these beautiful lights. You take a quick peep at the event in action. This is the action event happening right now on the Queen Mary. I did not notice the lamps were jellyfishes now, but they are. This is the first class dining room right here. Oh, it's very cool. Hello. This is the only deck with raised stairways on the elevator banks, with a beautiful hall of this ship. It's beautiful, lengthy cabine. We're going to the engine room now. There it is, I think. This is the first class dining room. All this deck right here, R deck. So R deck, B deck, A deck, main deck, promenade deck, sun deck, sports deck. Those are the decks you need to know. Everything below that is gutted and sad. We're gonna see that in a second. Are you ready to be sad with me? Let's all be sad together as a team. This is an employee entrance on our deck. That's where all the employees go. So a lot of this was kind of gutted and redone. But between the first class dining room and the second class dining room, which is somewhere over here, was a lot of kitchens and crew space. So these might be some original kitchens in here. They might be. One deck lower was like the main alleyway for crew space and ways to get along the length of the ship as a crew member. But this might be some original crew space from back in the day. Spots I've never seen before but would like to, let me tell you. There's a refrigerator on 2 forklifts. What a queen. Here's our stop. I haven't been here in a few years actually. It's been a long time. So we're virtually getting into this area on street level right here. Look at that. Queen Mary. Yeah, here we go. We're gonna enter here. Right here at the stern. You know what's inside that box? One of the propellers is inside that perfectly sealed box in its own tank of fresh water. Yeah, so all of this is gutted areas. 2 or 3 decks worth of gutted areas. This is one I actually have to kind of explore because propeller box exhibit. I guess we're going towards the propeller. Here's the hull. The inside of the hull. There's some portholes. Haunted portholes. Get down even lower into the... I haven't been down here in a while, but I guess it was not hard to find because I found it very quickly. Right there. That is a Queen Mary propeller in a tank of fresh water sealed from the outside. The water smells very still. There's lots of dollar bills in here, guys. Look at all this money. That's dollar bills at the bottom of the tank. Oh my god, I will breathe in all the black mold for the Queen Mary. Oh my god. This is one of the caps at the end of the propeller right here. We're in the steering gear rudder room. Oh my god, a ghost. Look at this spring right here. These parts, these are the 2 things that would turn the rudder. Steering ram. So the rudder straight that way. Can't go too much further. but these cylinders here make the rudder turn. As you can see, there's many haunted areas on the Queen Mary. The Queen Mary. A lot of World War II stuff here. The ship served in World War II. There it is, serving in World War II. Cots, every public space, the lounge that we were in earlier, the pool, there were these stacked up in the basin of the pool. So many soldiers. This is a mock-up of how they would plan for battle tactics. Look at the plans for battle tactics right here. Look at that. They're typing. The Queen Mary phone. I want one of those. Oh my god. Some fair mock-ups of the rooms. The Grey Ghost. I forgot all this was down here, honestly. The bedroom. It's dramatically put. War times. War times kind of had a vibe, though. Look at all this vibey furniture. What a time. The cabinet room. Where was this originally set up? Or is this like not on the ship, but it's like... Why are these bricks? More people doing some things. All this stuff. The situation report. That's what I need to start calling things when I talk to people. Queen Mary phones. Now we've been on a lot of this space today, but look at those forward sections. The soldiers on the forward sections of where we have been today. Oh my god, a giant man. This Queen Mary is built completely out of Legos. Look at this Lego world that we live in. That's super cool. There's Mary and Elizabeth, so they're not exactly the same, but they're similar, and they're not sister ships, contrary to popular belief. There's Mary, we're on that right now, but Elizabeth. See how I was saying earlier, where Mary has up and downs along the sports deck, along this deck right here. The Queen Elizabeth streamlined the design to have it all one level, so passengers would be more pleased. This ship, unfortunately, burned to the ground. And by to the ground, I mean to the water. There's all that decking gear that got removed. These are good examples of like what was. How cool it would be to have a bottle like this. I would look at it every second of my life. This is also something I could look at for several hours. Okay. There is the first class lounge. We've been in there today. We have not been in the first class smoking room, which is over here. Second class smoking room. This model is actually based on like the first run through of deck plans, I believe. So things were slightly different. Because it's not even showing me the first class dining room, the pool. No, I guess that's right. There's all the third class spaces. See, all this you can't even get to anymore. It is all secrets. Secrets I will discover someday. But not today. Maybe. Never say never. We found the projection room, which is one of these things up here. The squash court and the gym. This deck's closed too. We can't really get up here. They were just more first class rooms. Completely gutted in Long Beach. We're having our ADD moment of the day. Here's the second class spaces. See? Second class staircase right here. And at the very bottom was the pool that was gutted. Actually, this entire like space here is like where we are right now. Like 3 decks gutted. Visit America, Cunard White Star. So back when the Queen Mary came to Long Beach, they gutted a ton of the undersection of the ship because they were planning this huge extensive museum. A museum in which did not come to fruition. There's a person right here. They built the Queen Mary in Minecraft. Me too, actually. I just named it something different. But they did a very good job with theirs. I think I've looked through it before. I think it's at a different scaling than mine, but like it was good enough to get in here, Queens, let me tell you. Good job. I took a lot of liberties with mine. Normandy, another ship burned down. SS United States, that's about to be an incredibly tragic story. This is the ship they're preparing to sink off the coast of Florida. Right now, actually, it's supposed to be coming up very soon. America taking care of a beautiful British ocean liner over its own. Let us all remember the SS United States. What a time. Some of the SS United States stuff is on the Queen Mary now. So, that is a lovely tribute. Look at all that. This is the whole SS United States museum. See, the rooms are very more 50s modern than Art Deco. I think they have a lot less character that way, but that is very stark. Like, ooh, that gives me feels. I love that. See, the ship's already gutted though. The ship's been gutted for years. There it is right there. The SS United States was the last ship to win the blue ribbon to the engine room. That's for boating. Lobsters coming down the stairs. This is the engine room. That. See, this is the part of the Queen Mary that I'm like not all that crazy about because I like beautiful spaces and this is just machines, and that is not the part that I know about. High pressure turbines and low pressure turbines and you know, things that spin and things that move. Exhaust steam to condenser. Big pipes laying down here. I don't know what a dang thing is in this room, let me tell you. Why is that doing a swirly bit? That is very mock water. Did they just like, is this where they store the Halloween effects down here? This part's gonna be controversial, guys, so get your earballs and your eyeballs ready. Do you think the Queen Mary is haunted? Do you think? I don't know. I don't think so. I personally do not believe it, but I think it's a fantastic marketing scheme because the ship needs money, so give them money for ghosts. Main engines. Okay, so I guess these are main engines. Here they are. Look at that big ol' Hulkamaniac over there. Look at her. What a queen. This ginormous, powerful machine. That goes very far down. That probably goes to the very bottom of the ship. Look at this thing. Creepy. I think these platforms were built in Long Beach. Like, the actual walkways of the engine room were not anything like this. There is a spooky room with lights over there. What is that room? What is that? Do you see that window up there? What is that? What is that over there? I want to know what's in there. Control panel. I'm so turned around right now. Wait, okay. I was thinking that was going forward and backward, and that was like the port side of the ship, but actually, come to find out, that's not the case at all. Okay. All that natural gas I'm smelling is getting to my head. These are engines, guys. See these? The red one and the black one. So there's two engines right here. This is one of two engine rooms. The other one is gone, but this one is here. Well, actually, I think those are the engines. That's one over here, and that's one over there. This is where you can't trust what I say, because I don't freaking know what an engine is. Look at these beautiful control panels. Here's the engines. Look at these beautiful things. Oh, these are fake. I tapped on it. These are real. These are the engines. Are you real? You don't dent when I touch you. Yeah, you can see the spinny machines. They spin the little teeth like this. That's cool. See, these I trust as original walkways. Skinny little things with no handrails. They didn't need those back in the day. This is the engines would turn the see, I understand enough to know that the engines right here turn the turbines right here. And the main thrust bearings right here. These spin, spin, spin very, 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 very fast. So these spin like crazy. And whoosh, there's the bottom of the hull right there. Look at that. The bottom of the hull of the Queen Mary. Isn't that wild? There's some wetness in it. Let me tell you, Queen Mary's moist. So see, 2 propellers on this side. There'd be 2 propellers on the other side. And these spin and spin the propellers. And that is how an engine works. Fun facts for all of us. A watertight door right here. This door would have been an aftermarket door. Yeah, here's the other 2. I didn't think the shafts were all still here, but the other shaft goes out of the hull over there somewhere. Because I saw 2 back here. Because the hull is getting thinner and thinner. So one propeller comes before another propeller that is inland. So, yeah, that one jets out there. See it right here? And comes out through the ship at some point. I was not paying attention to when that point was. Oh, there actually. Yeah. Because the hull does some weird thing right here. Yeah, somewhere over right here. So that's that. And then on this side are the others. Was this that very dark escalator that I saw the other way? I guess so. I guess there's just like a mid-hallway there. Because I think we looked down the other side of that. I love you, turbine. You are beautiful and I love you. I want to touch you real quick. The Queen Mary spinny rotator. This is where somebody got crushed by a watertight door. Did you know that? This exact spot. This spot right here where I can stand. Very similarly, actually. Somebody, I guess a crew member, it was closing and a crew member tried to go through it and it clipped him right in the doorway here. So that is what happened once. I don't know how to talk. Now I'm down here by myself. That's kind of spooky. And you know what's spookier? There is a Toshiba TV right here. Where did you come from, beautiful? There's a speaker right there. We cannot... I thought that was walking, but I think it was actually a ship going by and making water happen. Look at these beautiful cans of stuff. We don't know what's in them, but it's beautiful cans. Beautiful cans of stuff. Beautiful I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I've been filming for hours now, and I feel like I've only filmed about 10 minutes of video footage. That is how I always feel when I film a 7-hour video. Look at these. Look at these, see how they're chipped from the parts moving? This Queen, 1,001 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean. Transatlantic service. Oh my God. This is the way back out too. Anyway, that's the engine room. Upon exiting the engine room, I found a suspicious wall that has a staircase going to it. That's suspicious. There it is, the engine room. The engines are right below us. There's that thing, and there's that thing. Go upstairs. Here we go to the upstairs world. Look at that beautiful steering wheel. This big old anchor over here. Anchors away, my friends. Anchors away. Beautiful picture of Titanic in Cherbourg, France. Here's a mock-up of the print shop where they would print menus and daily schedules and things on the ship. That man's been standing there like that for 84 years. Look at that machine. Big old printer. I hope it comes with more ink than my Lexmark. Down to Atuk. Original signs to the cinema. The cinema, she is gone. Winston Churchill. Beautiful. The launch of the Queen Mary. These beautiful baggage tags. Chloe's going to work. There they go. That man is ready. His work day. I would be ready for every work day on the Queen Mary, let me tell you. I'm racing to the horn going off. gonna blow the horn. It's gonna be frightening. In 1 minute, they're gonna blow the horn. That's what we were waiting for. Welcome to the bow of the ship and the wind. Good God, the wind. This beautiful superstructure. The wind is taking more victims. I mean, you could imagine the wind while the ship was going 30 miles an hour. In the ocean. Oh look, a door to the inside, not windy part. Okay, well back to the third class smoking room, I guess. Look at all this equipment for stopping smoking. Okay, we can get around the ship pretty easy. Who wants to take a peep at a corporate lie? Going down to corporate lie town. We're going to the corporate lie room. Here it is, it's right over here. Here it is, corporate lie. The corporate lie. None of the other rooms are remotely titled as such. They have the curtain closed right now, somebody might be renting this, but Jackie Onassis, the store. The ship got very bopping, guys. Let me tell you, there's a whole journey happening everywhere you look. The 90th anniversary maiden voyage. I think I'm gonna end this video here. Save some things for other times, even though we've seen everything both times I've gone. But we will have more adventures here this year. It is only my second trip out of 3,000, so I will see you all in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe, do the things that you do. I will see you all next time. Love you. Goodbye. I want you all to know that you can buy a rivet burger or a deck burger. Who named these burgers? The boiler room. The sunset deck. That's romantic but not real. The garden deck. Who named these sandwiches? I want a rivet burger. I don't need teeth no more. Or deck burger. I literally can't end the video when you're throwing things like that in my face. The deck burger. The rivet burger. The Queen Salon right here. Look at how they transformed it into a movie theater. What a time. Remember all the round tables in here earlier? Now it's movie theater mode, just in time. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Goodbye, Mary. Mary, alright. Goodbye, Mary. I'll see you next time. Wait, I'm leaving the Queen Mary and I just realized this beautiful picture of the Queen Mary running over a chalk outline. Oh my god. Oh my god. Parking lot memories. We don't remember her. Parking lot memories. Goodbye, Queen Mary.